we will be discussing the powers and duties of the Bureau of Internal Revenue. The Bureau of Internal Revenue of the Philippines plays a central role in the administration and enforcement of national tax laws. Its powers and duties are defined under the National Internal Revenue Code and other relevant laws. For its legal mandate, the BIR operates under the supervision and control of the Department of Finance. Its core mandate includes assessment and collection of all national internal revenue taxes, fees, and charges, enforcement of forfeitures, penalties, and fines related to tax violations, and execution of judgments in cases decided in its favor by the Court of Tax Appeals or Ordinary Court. These are the key powers and duties of the BIR. Tax administration. The BIR administers and enforces the provisions of the NIRC and other tax laws. They also issue revenue regulations, memorandum circulars, and rulings to interpret and implement tax laws. Collection and enforcement. The BIR collects taxes through various systems like the EFPS and the EBIR forms. They also enforce compliance through audits, investigation, and legal action, and impose penalties for violations, including surcharges, interest, and criminal prosecution when warranted. Supervisory and police power. The BIR exercises authority to inspect books of accounts and other records. They also issue subpoenas, luces tecum, and conduct tax mapping operations. They also implement closure orders for non-compliant businesses. Interpretation of tax laws. The Commissioner of Internal Revenue has the exclusive and original jurisdiction to interpret tax laws and decide tax cases subject to review by the Secretary of Finance. Taxpayer services. This The BIR provides registration, filing, and payment services through digital platforms like the ORUS, the EFPS, the EONET, and the EAFS. Organizational structure of the BIR. They are headed by the Commissioner of Internal Revenue and supported by the Deputy Commissioners overseeing operations, legal matters, and enforcement. The BIR is organized into revenue regions and revenue district offices across the country. The Commissioner of Internal Revenue in the Philippines holds a significant authority under the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997, as amended. Exclusive power to interpret tax laws. The Commissioner has the exclusive and original jurisdiction to interpret the provisions of the NIRC and other tax laws subject to review by the Secretary of Finance. This includes issuing revenue regulations, revenue memorandum circulars, and revenue rulings that guide taxpayers and BIR personnel. Authority to decide tax cases. The Commissioner is empowered to decide disputed assessments, refunds of internal revenue taxes, penalties, and other matters arising under the NRIC. These decisions are subject to appeal before the Court of Tax Appeals. Supervisory and police powers. The Commissioner administers the supervisory and police powers conferred by the NIRC and or other laws. This includes conducting audits and investigations, issuing subpoenas, luces tecum, ordering closure of non-compliant businesses, and enforcing tax liens and levies. Enforcement of tax laws. The Commissioner is responsible for the assessment, collection of all national internal revenue taxes, fees, and charges, executes judgments in cases decided in favor of the BIR by the Court of Tax Appeal or Ordinary Court. Administrative discretion. The Commissioner may approve or deny applications for registration, exemptions, and other tax-related requests based on administrative considerations. The Commissioner has the power to reassign revenue officers, although these must comply with due process requirements as clarified by the Supreme Court. Oversight of BIR operations. The Commissioner will lead the Bureau in implementing digital systems like EFPS, the EBIR forms, and the OROS. This ensures that taxpayer services are aligned with the BIR's mission of just enforcement of the tax laws for nation building. The power of the Commissioner of Internal Revenue to interpret tax laws in the Philippines is both exclusive and original, but it is subject to review by the Secretary of Finance. This authority is explicitly provided under Section 4 of the National Internal Revenue Code of 1997. Key points: exclusive and original jurisdiction. The CIR has the primary authority to interpret tax laws and decide tax cases involving the application of the NIRC and other tax laws administered by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. The Secretary of Finance may review the CIR's interpretation. This means that the CIR's rulings are not absolutely final and may be overturned or modified by the Secretary of Finance. Legal basis. The legal basis is Section 4 of the NIRC as amended by RA 8424, which is the governing law for tax administration in the Philippines. Limitations. While the CIR's interpretation are presumed correct and are generally followed by the BIR, they cannot override explicit provisions of law. Courts may also review and overturn BIR interpretations if they are inconsistent with the law. The power of the BIR Commissioner to resolve tax disputes. The power of the Commissioner of Internal Revenue to resolve tax disputes in the Philippines is a core function under the National Internal Revenue Code and related laws. Legal basis and scope. Section 4 of the NIRC grants the CIR the power to decide disputed assessments, claims for refunds of internal revenue taxes, fees or other charges, penalties imposed in relation thereto, and other matters arising under the NRIC or other laws administered by the BIR. This power is subject to the exclusive appellate jurisdiction of the Court of Tax Appeals. The decision-making authority covers disputed tax assessments, claims for tax refunds or credits, requests for abatement or compromise of penalties, and other administrative tax disputes. Process for resolving tax disputes. Protest of tax assessment. When a taxpayer receives a tax assessment, they may file a protest, request for reconsideration or reinvestigation within 30 days of receipt. For reinvestigation, supporting documents must be submitted within 60 days. Action by the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. The CIR must decide on the protest within 180 days from filing or from the submission of the last relevant document. If the CIR fails to act within this period, the protest is deemed denied and the taxpayer may seek judicial remedies. Appeal to the Court of Tax Appeals. If the protest is denied in whole or in part, or if there is inaction, the taxpayer may appeal to the CTA within 30 days from receipt of the decision or from the lapse of 180-day period. In summary, protest assessment will be decided by the BIR or the CIR. The timeline is 180 days for them to decide. The next remedy is to make an appeal to the CTA within 30 days. For refund, abatement claim, The one who decides is the BIR or CIR. The timeline is 120 to 180 days for them to decide. They can also appeal to the Court of Tax Appeals within 30 days. For judicial review, the one who decides is the Court of Tax Appeals. There is no timeline, and they can have the remedy by applying to the Supreme Court. Powers to obtain information, summon, examine and take testimony from persons. The Commissioner of Internal Revenue in the Philippines is vested with broad powers under the National Internal Revenue Code to ensure tax compliance. These include the authority to obtain information, summon, examine, and take testimony from persons. The legal basis for this is under Section 5 of the NIRC. The Commissioner is authorized to obtain information from any person or entity, including government agencies and instrumentalities. Summon any person liable for tax or any officer, employee, or custodian of records. Examine the books of accounts and other records to verify the correctness of tax returns or determine tax liability, and to take testimony under oath to aid in investigation or assessment. Scope of authority. The Commissioner may require information from taxpayers and their employees, third parties holding relevant records, government offices including the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas and the GOCCs or the government-owned and controlled corporations, as well as any person with knowledge of the taxpayer's financial activities. Subpoena duces tecum. When voluntary compliance fails, the Commissioner may issue a subpoena to compel submission of documents or appearance for testimony. Key procedures include issuance of SDT through authorized BIR officials, service of SDT via personal delivery, substituted service, or mail. Required appearance and submission of records within 14 days from issuance, and non-compliance may lead to criminal prosecution under Section 266 of the NIRC for failure to obey summons. Examination and inspections. Books of accounts and records must be preserved for 10 years, available at the taxpayer's place of business, and should be produced upon demand by any internal revenue officers, and can be inspected during regular or extraordinary audits or in response to foreign tax authority requests. Penalties for non-compliance. Failure to comply with summons or submit required documents may result in administrative sanctions, criminal charges under Section 266 or failure to obey summons, and additional penalties under Section 2564 for corporate officers. Power to make assessments and prescribe additional requirements for tax administration and enforcement. In Philippine taxation, the power to make assessments and prescribe additional requirements for tax administration and enforcement is primarily vested in the Commissioner of Internal Revenue as provided under Section 6 of the National Internal Revenue Code and as amended by the Train Law RA 10-963 and the Ease of Paying Taxes Act RA 11-976. These are the key powers of the Commissioner under Section 6 of the NIRC. Examination of returns and determination of tax due. The CIR may examine any taxpayer's return and assess the correct amount of tax due even if no return has been filed. This includes the authority to investigate tax liabilities, issue deficiency tax assessments, and require taxpayers to maintain detailed records. Prescribing additional requirements. The CIR can impose procedural or documentary requirements to improve tax administration and enforcement. These include requiring specific formats or details in tax filings, mandating record-keeping standards, and prescribing zonal values for real property for tax purposes. Jeopardy assessment. If the CIR believes that tax collection is at risk, either the taxpayer is hiding assets or leaving the country, they may issue a jeopardy assessment immediately, bypassing the usual procedure. Inventory taking and surveillance. The CIR may order inventory taking or place a business under surveillance if there is reason to believe that income or sales are underreported. This can lead to the use of presumptive gross sales or receipts as a basis for assessment. Use of best evidence. When records are unavailable or unreliable, the CIR may assess taxes based on the best evidence obtainable, including third-party information or industry benchmarks. Authority to prescribe real property value. The CIR can determine the fair market values of real properties in different zones, which are used for computing taxes. These valuations must be updated every 3 years and made publicly accessible. Delegations and limits. While the CIR may delegate certain functions, the power to make final assessments cannot be delegated. Assessments must be based on factual evidence and directed to the correct taxpayers. Tax enforcement and compliance mechanism in the Philippines. Examination after filing. The BIR may audit a taxpayer's filed return to verify accuracy. This is initiated via a letter of authority or LOA and may lead to assessments if discrepancies are found. Payment upon notice. When the BIR issues a notice of assessment, the taxpayer must pay the deficiency tax within the prescribed period. Failure to pay results in additional 25% or 50% surcharge, 12% interest per annum, and compromise penalties. No withdrawal of filed documents. Once a tax return or document is officially filed with the BIR, it cannot be withdrawn. Attempting to do so may result in penalties under Section 255 of the NIRC. Best evidence obtainable. If records are missing or unreliable, the BIR may assess taxes using the best evidence obtainable, such as third-party data, industry averages, or surveillance findings. Failure to file or filing false information. False returns. These are filled with incorrect info due to negligence. Fraudulent returns, filed with intent to evade tax. And non-filing, no return filed. All are subject to a 10-year prescriptive period for assessment. Inventory taking. The BIR may conduct inventory taking to verify actual stock levels and compare them with reported figures. This helps detect underreporting of income. Observation or surveillance. Used to monitor business operations and detect underreporting. This includes covert surveillance, overt surveillance, short duration surveillance authorized via a mission order, presumptive gross sales and receipts. When actual records are unavailable, the BIR may estimate income using industry benchmarks, historical data, or local ordinances. Terminate taxable period. The BIR may terminate a taxpayer's taxable period early if there's evidence of intent to evade taxes, example, fleeing the country or hiding assets. This allows immediate assessment and collection. Real property valuation. Under RA 12,001 or the RPVARA, real property taxes are now based on the schedule of market values by LGUs, updated every 3 years, and managed by the Real Property Valuation Service under the BLGF. This replaces the old system using the BIR's zonal values. Inquiry into bank deposits. The BIR cannot access bank deposits due to the Bank Secrecy Law, RA 1405, except in these cases: written consent of the depositor, impeachment proceedings, court order in bribery or dereliction cases, litigations involving the deposit, determining the gross estate of a decedent, compromise due to financial incapacity, and request from foreign tax authority under treaty. Delegation of powers by the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. Under Section 7 of the NIRC, the Commissioner may delegate powers and duties to subordinate officials except for certain key functions. The CIR may delegate both administrative and enforcement functions to Deputy Commissioners, Revenue Regional Directors, Revenue District Officers, and other internal revenue officers. Examples of delegable powers: conducting audits and investigations, issuing preliminary assessment notices, collecting taxes and enforcing penalties, and managing operational procedures and taxpayer services. Legal basis. The delegation authority is rooted in the NIRC, particularly Section 4, which grants the CIR exclusive power to interpret tax laws. Section 6 details the CIR's powers to assess taxes, conduct investigations, and prescribe procedural requirements. Section 7, which specifies the organizational structure and delegation limits within the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Oversight and review. Even when powers are delegated, the CIR's decisions are subject to review by the Secretary of Finance for interpretation of tax laws and appeal to the Court of Tax Appeals for decisions on assessments and refunds. Powers that cannot be delegated by the Commissioner of Internal Revenue. Power to interpret tax law. The Commissioner has the exclusive and original jurisdiction to interpret the provisions of the NIRC. This power is subject to review by the Secretary of Finance but cannot be delegated to subordinate officials. Issuance of rulings of first impression. These are rulings on tax issues that have not been previously addressed. Because they involve novel interpretations of law, they require the CIR's personal judgment and expertise, and thus cannot be delegated. Reversal or modification of existing rulings. The Commissioner alone has the authority to reverse, amend, or modify prior rulings. This is considered a discretionary power that involves legal interpretation and policy consideration. Final decision on disputed assessments and refunds. The CIR must personally decide on tax assessments, refunds, and penalties. These decisions are subject to appeal to the Court of Tax Appeals and cannot be delegated to lower officials. Power to recommend legislative amendments. While the CIR cannot legislate, the power to recommend changes to tax laws to Congress is a strategic function that must be exercised directly.